Hello everybody and welcome to Sagittarius time. So as of today, November the 22nd, we will be having 30 days of Saggy time. So happy birthday to all Saggies, and hopefully this reading finds you well. So what actually I figured out over the 2 months of obsessing and finding the balance between what I can do and what I want to do, I would love that everybody gets hour to 2 to 3 hours readings, but it just reality is I don't have that much time. So what I'll be doing, each birthday sign each month is going to have a little bigger reading. However, I'm going to go to the old format where we will have tarot and Gypsy and Lenormand, and it was a winner. All of you liked it because it targets all of you, single, relationship, on and off, the other people we kind of like can get laid off the land. Also guys, before I forget, please, I'm just about to finish my annual scopes, and this is the last call for a pre-order price. Until the 4th of the month, for each individual scope, it's $19.95. And for all of them is $39.95. I have actually placed a preview. Wait for the end of this video and you will be able to click and get a really preview for the next year, so you can decide if this is what you want. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump. It is December 2017. We are finalizing the year. Hi Libra, welcome to your December 2017 monthly. Finally getting my act together, and let's see what happens. I'm very interested in your sign because this is my ascendant. This is the path I have to live. So let me show you what you got. You got passion ignited reversed. You got sacrifice reversed. You got love begins. You got recognition and reward, passion, simply love, eagle, communion. And then I was not sure how this landed on the floor, possibilities and fighting. Okay, so what I see, certain lessons had to be learned. There was some kind of sacrifice that had to be made, and that maybe didn't end well. It could be something about the passion, something that is really important to us. Because this is repeating. So something that maybe looked like was not right. Or maybe you feel you made a wrong decision, because this is the Hangman. Sacrifice always talks about, in the opposite situation, you're moving forward. There's this blossoming. There are all chakras that are blossoming. But you're kind of like confining yourself to the situation because you need to see things differently. You need to see things from possibly a different person's standpoint, or you kind of have to comprehend it differently to get this entire 360 situation. When this is reversed, there is like a lesson that is missed. So when we miss lessons in life, we have to keep continuing through them, right? Now, there are like some kind of new stages. See, passion and love generally go hand in hand, right? But one ingredient is missing. One ingredient is missing where we need to learn the lesson of servitude, recognition and reward. Getting recognition, getting reward. Did you ever watch the Olympics or anything? They band. They kind of like honor people giving it to them. So we actually have to learn how to honor people around us. This could be also a work situation that I see over here. And certain things will be asking us to kind of really connect on a deeper level, even with ourselves. You see, there is a man watching an eagle. This is not a real eagle. It could be a spirit, mind you. It could be a Scorpio for the some of you, and I see this eagle here as well. So this kind of like brought to my attention. Now, it is talking about the possibilities in this card. It's saying like you need to raise about certain things. But here is saying how. This particular card is telling, you know, we are part of this whole. This is talking about the spirit animal. Make it an eagle this month, your spirit animal. If the eagle is not your first choice, observe your pet. Really try to understand and heal. This is amazing exercise where we actually learn how to live in the moment, where we learn how to kind of like unfold our things, connect. It is really important to have this communication, because almost like you start understanding how things are. And this is like that sacrifice lesson that hasn't been learned. It keeps coming back to you saying you need to see it from a different standpoint, because obviously eagle has a different agenda from us, but it still exists, and exists royally and gorgeously. The center card here is simply love. Sucks to be you, Libra. But this is the love that more or less talks about everything that makes us warm about. Sort of like nostalgic love. Sort of like, hey, you know, this could be a little kind of inner child. Something that has been deeply forgotten. Or some kind of love where you still feel butterflies in the stomach. And the passion kind of gets reignited. Maybe certain things that kind of didn't work out are kind of getting reignited. Look, there is this union with a rainbow starting to pour. The potential is resurfacing. For some of you, this could be the work situation. You might be getting some kind of accolades, and this is what Mercury retrograde is good for. You get award for something that you have done previously. So Mercury retrograde always deals with the past. The warning card is this: fighting. Look at him. He kind of looks a little angry, right? And the fists are clenched. What is kind of really interesting are all these buttons that we see in the card. And I think this is what is going on in his mind. You're not going to do this to me. You're not going to do this to me. This is again kind of like feeling closed in our own thinking, in the way we think the life should work. Maybe we have lots of buttons that can be pushed in us, that can push us out of our equilibrium, out of our balance. Spend this month thinking how other people see the situation. Literally. This is what is the failure to do. And the moment when you turn this card, this one automatically turns with it, and things actually work out. So this is basically the lesson that keeps being told over here. Something has not been seen. Or maybe you did something that was wrong. Maybe you did something that you think was wrong. It's going to turn out it's right. It's going to go back to the past for some reason. And you need to kind of shed arguing. Maybe there are people who are kind of like putting you into this fighting stance. Maybe you're putting others in the fighting stance. You see, if you let the steam out, if you are the one who unscrew these buttons, people cannot push them. Keep that in mind. So try to see what happens and why do they think differently from their standpoint. And let's check the tarot next. Alright, Libra, let me just tell you the cards before I start. You have Death reversed. Then you have Strength. 5 of Pentacles. 5 again, a Wands. Central card, 1 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Then the World. Then Karma card, the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel reversed. Then the Magician. Then Queen of Pentacles. Lots of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 majors out of 9. Big month. Big. You know, like Pretty Woman, movie when she walks in a store and she said to the previous seller who didn't want to sell her because she was basically a prostitute. Big mistake, lady. So guys, you basically are dealing with people who are hurting you. I can see it here clearly. Something is bothering you, something is brewing, and again, it could be just a Scorpio that is going through some kind of pain, or is a pain in the butt, one of the two things. You are trying to set your boundaries. There are like lots of push and pulls, there are misunderstandings, and you have to keep an eye on the goal, which will be this little mouse on the bottom. By not keeping an eye on the goal, like, I mean, things can actually go fritz up. In fact, you're entering this period where you kind of like felt you were like on the bad side of karma, kind of like, ugh, something is like so freaking off over here. But you straighten this out. You straighten things out. There is like this new strength, newfound strength, finding like, okay, so what is bothering me in this? Something is bothering me. I need to kind of like tame possibly this animal inside of me. Maybe I actually really figure out, you know, what commitments I want to make. The central is one, and then also you have the magician to boot. They're kind of relatives, because look at this kitty. It's just going to move this little disc, and then sky's the limit. This is usually a beginning of something that is long term. So you guys, to set something long term during Mercury retrograde means that something has been already brewing in the past, but something that is coming to the surface and is finally the right time. Mercury retrograde is great for that, for the projects that have been happening in the past, but maybe they were not ready. The magician can create them. So you have to have this vision of where you're going. Certain things will fall off. On some level, you will be feeling like left out in the cold. This could be the work situation. Kind of something can be undefined, but it's going to be still another person, work or not work, because I do see some possible workable situation or work situation, and this could be Queen of Pentacles, you Libras being at work, or you Libras becoming a wife or feeling like very domesticated. Because there's somebody was here who kind of caused you some pain, or who is in pain, who is in your life. You have lots of horoscope signs. You have a Gemini, you have a Scorpio, you have a Leo. And you have earth signs as well. Central is this new beginning. Something that is going to be slow and steady that wins the race. Something really, really good. And something that is going to go all the way to this amazing finish. You couldn't probably find a better combination than this. Something that is brewing, something that is being set up, something that is kind of like really innocent, but something that you have been planning that maybe did go around into some kind of difficulties. The World card is really good card. It talks about freedom. It talks about lesson learned. It talks about, hey, you know what, now I'm feeling more comfortable to go to the next stage. So this next stage can be, I don't know, like, I mean, somebody that maybe from the past that kind of like you obsessed about, it's kind of getting more grounded. Because here I distinctly see bad things. Here, right now, right here, I see things are really moving forward, but sort of like they're just in the stage where you're kind of like just making a list. I have to do this, I have to do that, oh, I don't know, I have to do, you know, Gemini next, I have to do this, but you're still not doing it. And here, whoosh, is like your Libra, your air sign. This is going to be really, really fast. Certain things, as I said, might be left behind. So you will not win 100%, but you will win at good 90 to 95%. Okay, so let's see the Lenormand, sort of like situational, the lay of the land. Okay, Libra. Lenormand, 32 cards. We are seeing this like entire lay of the land. You don't see this Lenormand in this extent. And then the next thing is going to be Gypsy with full 52 cards. So here we have two major significators, and more or less we're looking at the situation around you. So there is something karmic. You did run into some kind of issues right here. Maybe it has been some kind of trouble or some kind of promotion in the past. Something died, something good came out of something that died. But there was some kind of suffering that you've been through, or somebody got very sick, and I'm seeing this, you know, that kind of in German, the hospital is Krankenhaus. Krankenhaus means home for the sick, right? Literally translated. So whenever I see this combination, this kind of like reminds me to it. Some of you maybe, I don't know, got pregnant because there was like some kind of seduction and moving in that direction. And look at this, on one side the sun is shining, on the other side there is like this cross, the faith, something that kind of like is kind of like moving forward. There is another significator, the gentleman, which could be girls or girls, ladies or men equally, because this is a general reading, where here something from the past again is resurfacing with the child, where we had the stork. So this again, sorry, this should be the last reading tonight. I can barely talk. Something from the past is coming back to the surface. Something is being reworked, and it could be something that financially is being set straight properly. Now I really like this because look at this, the heart, the ring, and the key. I know, guys, we see that simply love, we see this new beginning, but for you this new beginning, especially the tower, could mean saying I do. At the very least, you're going to say I do to some kind of work situation, something that really is kind of hard to overcome. How soon is hard to tell, because generally this should mean then very soon, but then you have these two obstacles, karma. And when this card shows up next to the significator, and you had that card showing up as well, it says stop. This really depends on this person, how they will do and how they will react to what they will get. Because you might go here from here, or you might go here. So let's see what you do, guys. So you will have some kind of luck. I don't know, maybe some of you have pets. You will be wise about it, and you're building your reputation. There's definitely somebody coming from the past. It's going to be few chances for this. Now the really interesting part here is that you see, this is the cross, this is this fate card, and this is the house of the cross, and we have the key. Something that is fated right now is unlocking. You may be clearing your debts, and this is sort of like a common thing that I see in the reading this month. Then this significators is in the house of the tower. This is not the same tower as in tarot. This talks about the government, high rises, institutions, prisons, hospitals. And the gentleman is in the house of a tree. Again, health. Be careful about your health, because you are also knighting the tree over here. Some commitments that you're making might be too much. Or you may have to make new commitments because you really want to build a reputation. Now, there is definitely somebody happening here for you. Absolutely. Just don't mess it up. So, you know how you don't mess up karma? Do the right thing. We all know. I don't even have to teach you. Do to others the way that you would like to be treated yourself, and you're resolving your karmic situation. Just think maybe 2 months ago what happened with what person, because something might be resurfacing right now. There is like some kind of small luck with some kind of loyalty, return of loyalty, and the return of loyalty in some kind of like different way. There is like some kind of like wiseness about that. So health is important, but you guys, You guys might have it all. You literally might have it all. Again, sucks to be you, Libra. Okay, so the next thing will be Gypsy spread, where we are going to see 52 cards simultaneously on the table. And Gypsy or Vera Sibilla, well, this is not Vera Sibilla. Vera Sibilla means true Sibilla. This Gypsy spread is more kind of like adapted to our modern way of living, so that's why I like it better. So let's do this next. Alright, Libra, so 52 cards from Gypsy Oracle cards. So a few significators. This is a wife. Wife can be married woman, but she can be single woman with children. Generally it's a single woman with children, but it can be you as well. Then I saw sweetheart. He's over here. Could be single woman. There's a lord who can be married man or established man, and again established woman as well. It's a general reading. When I do the private reading, that I'm more clear on this. Then we have lover, which is a single energy. Then we have the enemy, and we would have the foe somewhere as well. Foe, where is the lady foe? The foe. And then we have a young woman over here, which also can be a child. So let me give you a few storylines here. Some of you could be married, but they're not very happy in your marriage. You kind of like maybe on an off situation, maybe somebody moved out, and you're kind of like really devastating about that. You're kind of like feeling that maybe things are not going to work out, and you're going into counseling, but you're very, very sad about it. What's going to come as a surprise to you that you're going to find in counseling that you basically haven't been served well in that marriage. That certain things were really false, and this kind of realization is going to be difficult for you because you guys, after all, you and Taurus are romance signs. So another surprise is going to come to you, that somebody else, something new will come to your life. Somebody who maybe went through some kind of loss of their own, including a widower. But you will really have a difficult time allowing somebody else to enter as long as you're not clear on some circumstances. Now, others will kind of like have a whole bunch of activities. People coming in and out. Literally, I see the party atmosphere, celebration, friends, false friends, fall celebrations. You know, this Christmas when you have to have the party with your company, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to buy something, wear something, everybody's going to look at me, and you kind of hate it going there. At least I did always. And then you get there and it's all fine, right? It's all fine, nobody really cared, and by the third glass of wine you're just fine. So I also see this, that some kind of reunion is not helping, because this person also went through something. It could be a divorce with kids. This is kind of like really simply saying, but somebody's holding on to a marriage, or so holding on to some kind of commitment, even though it's kind of like really false, and it could have been a third person. This person strongly doesn't want to continue in that union. So something literally has to die, guys, in order for something to go. So this was like that card left out in the cold that is really coming across here really, really, really loudly. But I have to tell you, something at work, here I still have the house, something at work might come to the surface. It might increase the money. You will get possible promotion, possibly some kind of intimate knowledge of something. The widower could mean something ends, but it could mean like ends. So in a way, you get a promotion, because I do see money for you guys. The best part is this old woman and the hope that is on the corners. The thief I don't like. That kind of again gives me this feeling, this Five of Pentacles, somebody being left out in the cold. But I do see lots of swerving activities, and you guys generally swim really well in this kind of situation. I would just say for people who have been in serious relationships, this might be a lot sort of difficult, but somebody new might be coming. So don't be blind not to let this person in. This person has its own demons. They have suffered through a lot, and they will be able to understand you. Even if this means just going to counseling, this old woman can talk about a counselor. Some of you can actually have a quick journey, and some of you are having a long distance because the love is still there, just like what we saw it before. Now, somebody might be hesitant to divorce because of children. This is not the right reason to be in a relationship, and some conclusion will be reached that is going to be surprisingly easy and very satisfactory to all parties involved. You might have some people who will be really, really good friends that you can rely upon. In fact, the enemy card here, and where is the other enemy card? Well, this enemy card is actually crossing. So I would say the people from relationships are their own worst enemies, because this is connecting to the death, to the fallout of relationship, and it's kind of holding on to it because of the children. I see it here as well. You might be your own worst enemy because the fortune is waiting for you, the fortune with somebody else who might provide you home and who might actually be well off to boot. And here again, finding the money, and there is a friend. So you guys have to figure out that sometimes what you want is not what you need. And sometimes what you need will turn out to be what you have to have and what you really want. The hope abounds, but be very careful of the false prophets, meaning don't trust everything you hear. I can see lots of gossip as well. I can see that Mercury retrograde, things coming back, kind of renegotiating to some extent. But lots of lacking turn of events. So let me take a card for you guys to seal this reading for December for Libra. This one wanted to come out. Commitment. Oh my gosh. Why am I not surprised? So it's going to be interesting. Commitment. You might be coming out of one commitment, going in another commitment. But what a lovely card to get. This is what it says. A true commitment is responsibility of the heart, mind, body, and soul. This is a good time to make one, and that's what I saw in Lenormand. So it looks like there are quite a few different storylines, because I'm seeing this a little bit differently in the Gypsy that I saw in Lenormand. In Lenormand, I definitely saw the commitment, and now this is again repeating. It's almost like, wait a minute, you sidetracked yourself from this. So let's see. Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnership at this time. Yay! Remember that your partnership with Spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another. So again, guys, remember what I said, like kind of being left out in the cold? I think it's more or less the two against the world in your case. There will be some kind of things that is going to bond you together. You know, when kind of like you find that maybe somebody left you out in the cold, and yet there's a person who is equally suffering but is more than willing to kind of like take you under their wing and kind of like feel for you. It is kind of very powerful bonding motion. They say the best relationships are made in wars, and I think that's for that reason as well. So my dear Libra, have a wonderful December, and please make sure to order your Teroscope for 2018. So I'm kind of brewing them with hope to be finished by December the 4th, well ahead of the season. So have a great month. Love you. Talk to you soon.